No worries. It does, man. I mean, music's probably one of the most powerful drugs you can find.
Yeah, definitely. Now let's go back to the start, alright? Most 16-year-olds still let their mum make them lunch. You left home, you're a muso on the streets. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, it was my choice, firstly. It's my choice to do that, you know. I didn't want to be around home anymore because I was just ready for something else, you know. I guess I was a little bit bored. No, I love my folks, you know, but I just wanted to travel and have my freedom. I was getting to that age where I was like, dude, I need to make my own rules, man. I'm done with these rules. So I just went and did a whole bunch of different jobs, and I was working, building sites and cleaning and all sorts of things. You know, it was just freedom that I hadn't had before.
Yeah.
Which is what I really wanted, and I loved it. You know, as hard as it was, you know, having to pay your own rent and phone bills and power and water and all this stuff that would go on, and then you might get laid off from a job and you get no money, and it was all very hard, but I just love the freedom.
Yeah. So look, you mentioned it being hard. What actually kept you going when it got tough?
Just food, really. When things get tough, everyone, well, not everyone, really, 10% of the population make 90% of the money. So, like, there's a lot of people
deep.
are really just living sort of check to check, and yeah, you could ask most people on the street, how do you keep going? You just do, man, and you don't worry about it too much. It just happens. You're like, well, okay, I've run out of money now, but the money comes, man. When you really need the money comes. It's always there. You find a way to get it.
So you did a bit of busking. Did that get you some money?
Yeah, busking was great. See, I had an accountant look at my books a while back, and he's like, what's this big gap here of a year and a half where you didn't pay any tax?
Yeah, busking,
I was like, oh, it's busking. It never went into my account. It was just, they didn't see the point.
Yeah. So look, when you were younger, little old Dean, Dean, sorry, did anyone give you one piece of advice that's kind of just stuck with you, and like you always just turn back to that, like, oh, I remember when he told me that. I'm going to live by that.
Yeah, it was Terence Phillips. He said to me, play for you. He said, you appear to be playing for everybody else here. He said, but it's noticeable. He said, I want you to impress you on stage, and that's it. He said, the only reason anyone starts playing music is for their own enjoyment.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. And he said, so when you're playing live, just play for you. He said, your opinion is usually much higher than anyone else's that's listening. Because you're very critical, critical on yourself, and that's the best thing for me.
Yeah.
Because if I'm playing something that I'm enjoying, it's just like the audience are going to enjoy it. They pull that energy from you.
Yeah, you've definitely got a lot of energy when you're on stage. So what age did you start performing? Like, when you were doing your first live gigs, how old were you?
6.
6? Dude! How could you even hold a guitar?
I couldn't hold a guitar, but I was playing drums at that stage. I used to have to put a brick on the hi-hat pedal, keep it all hanging down if I couldn't quite reach it, and I just sort of use my toes. I'd hit the kick drum, and yeah, I was but professionally, like to a point of actually getting paid. I guess probably from the age of 12, I've been getting paid for gigs and playing behind other artists and things like that. I started touring on drums when I was 12.
Okay, so what made you quit the drums?
I never quit the drums. I still play them.
Yeah.
But guitar is far more practical because I don't like to carry heaps of crap around with me, so I don't play drums anymore that much,
Yeah. Now look, you've obviously grown up with music. I just love the story you tell when you slept in a guitar case backstage. Are there any other stories that kind of stand out and you look back and be like, wow, like as a young kid, really living the rock and roll life?
I remember when I was 12 or 13, I was backstage. I remember just looking at the gel lights hanging above the stage, looking at the stage lights and all the smoke and whatnot. And I thought, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I was lucky to be so young and just have that moment of, oh, this is it. Instead of, people, friends of mine, they're 24, 25 years old, still got no idea what their purpose is. And I think it's an important thing to have a sense of purpose. You need to figure out what your purpose is going to be, like why you do what you do, what you're going to do. Is it to, is your purpose to just be a money-hungry prick, or is it to help other people, or is it to, figure out what your purpose is, to be a mother or a builder? Like, you got to figure out what you're going to contribute. Because at the end of the day, we're all in this horrid thing called life together, and you got to contribute.
Yeah, definitely. So what do you feel like you contribute to the music industry that wasn't there before Dean was? What are you bringing?
Oh, just a perfect jawline, darling. No, look, man.
It's flawless.
So much has been done in music. What I'm trying to bring to the table, it's been done before. It's called depth.
Okay,
and
that's
it's
been
lacking.
lost.
It's lacking in the mainstream. They're writing songs about dancing and drinking and having promiscuous sex. And don't get me wrong, love all those things, but it's not deep. It doesn't touch people in an emotional way. It just makes them want to get wasted. I want to take people away, take them on a journey away from what they're doing at the time. If they're in if they've got $400,000-$500,000 loan on their house and they're stressing about paying the mortgage and whatnot, and they come to one of my shows, they can forget about that for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And just take them away to somewhere else. And that's what I feel is lacking. There are artists at the moment doing it, but they're not getting the exposure that they should be.
Yeah, so I'm just assuming, like, when you talk, like, about those people that used to bring depth and stuff to the music, like, it's like people like Johnny Cash, Tom Petty, Stevie Ray, am I right?
Yeah. Elvis was insane at it.
Oh, Elvis is great.
Unbelievable.
Look,
He just gets people.
Yeah, look, I messaged you, I think, last year sometime, and I was like, look, I do this radio show. What's one song I have to finish every show on? You're like, Tom Petty, Learning to Fly. And I promise you, to this day, I still do. Every show is finished on that.
It's a good song. It's a really good song. It just cruises,
It does.
It's one of those songs, like, I just thought about it when I came across your message. I was like, what would I end it with? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow, same time tomorrow. Learn to fly. Like, it just works.
Yeah. Hey, look,
I'm glad you use it.
Yeah, you've also, like, kind of introduced me to a lot of Johnny Cash and stuff like that. I was like, Dean listens to Johnny Cash. I'm going to really get into it. Now I'm one of the biggest Johnny Cash fans you meet. Right, you ready to do your best Johnny Cash impersonation with the whole "Hello, I'm Johnny Cash"? I want to hear it from Dean.
Oh, all right, I'll try this.
All right, get the deep voice ready.
Hello, I'm John Cash.
That was good. I'm going to give it to you. Hey, look, every time I've seen you, Dean, right, you've got your fashion. It's insane, right? You've always got, I think I saw you had one red sock, one yellow sock. Your shoes are always sparkly and nice. Where do you kind of get that inspiration for, like, your fashion? Like, you see people, you stand out.
Well, look, it's a perfect combination of, I want to look really good, and I also don't care very much.
Yeah.
So the socks, for instance, I don't pair my socks. I just put socks on. I have them, as long as they're kind of clean, I'll wear them.
Kind of clean.
So that doesn't bother me. Shoes, always been a fan of shoes, because when I was a kid, it was, it was like you kind of had the one pair of shoes. So when I started making my own money, I just used to buy shoes, man. I've got so many shoes. I love them. All different things. And people are like, those shoes are the same as those shoes. And we're like, no.
They're not.
They're made from different leather. That cow is from a different country to the cow with the other shoes with that cow.
That's great. So
I've got many shoes. And then most of my exciting fashion no one ever sees, because it's, I collect sort of old vintage costume stuff, like I don't even know how to explain some of the pieces, like
do you ever dress up
pirate outfits. Yeah, it's called my wardrobe. Half my wardrobe is like if I get drunk and I want to look like a knight, I could dress up as a knight. Or
that's
if I
good.
wanted to look like I don't know, an emperor.
Okay, yeah, as you do.
I've got all sorts of silk stuff.
I'm really happy you can do
I
that,
love
Dean.
Love it, man. It's my escape from the world.
How many leather jackets do you own? Talking about cows and leather and...
I don't know, probably 8 or 10.
Okay, yeah, as you do. Look,
Pretty standard for someone who likes leather jackets. You usually have a few.
yeah.
It becomes a bit of a habit. Jackets are very much a hobby of mine. I love them. So
I had a favourite leather jacket and it's recently just ripped, so I'm a bit in a tough time at the moment. If I could be in your thoughts with my leather jacket.
just get it fixed up.
Hey, so...
Go to an alterer, they will fix it for you.
No, I did, and they actually said they can't because they can't stitch the leather. I've been through
this. No,
this.
go to a different one. Go to a different one, they'll stitch it.
Hey, look, so talking about antiques and stuff, vinyls are getting pretty old, but I believe you haven't given up on them.
No, man, vinyls are just starting to come back a lot. People have realised
They
that
are.
MP3s are so compressed, and you lose with an MP3 once you turn tracks. So, like, I'll spend weeks on a song and the recording of it and making sure everything's right. Some people will spend years. They might spend a year on one song, getting all the bits right. And that's all well and good if it's on vinyl, because you can hear the little essences they put into it. But then if it's MP3, you lose all these little edges. It sort of straightens it out, flattens it, actually kills some of it a little bit. It kills the life in it, which music lovers are really starting to get into vinyl again and go, oh, wow, like,
Yeah.
I can hear all this detail.
So what vinyl have you got playing at the moment?
Oh, jeez, I don't even know what's on it.
Make something up quick.
So I think the last one that I was listening to, I'm trying to think. I think it was T-Rex, to be honest. I think it was T-Rex.
Get it on my T-Rex?
The vinyl. Yeah, that's on there. It's a vinyl with a picture of him with a top hat just in front of it.
You could dance.
I forget what it's called.
You could dance around a T-Rex, Dean, as you dressed up as your emperor. Or your knight, whatever you're feeling.
I do it every day.
Hey, look, so in Sydney, I got backstage with you and you teach me Reckless on guitar, and I remember you had this massive lump next to your thumb on your left hand from your playing.
Yes, the lump. The famous lump.
Yeah, so can we just talk a bit now about your guitar technique and how you'd explain your style?
I'm a finger-style guitarist as a rule, mostly acoustic, and so I play a lot of bass lines on the guitar with my thumb, and
hence the bump.
The other fingers just but the the bump is my thumb joint has expanded.
Okay.
Substantially.
You seen someone about that?
I've got it checked out because I thought it was a tumor.
Oh.
So I said, what is this thing? This is not a good growth to have underneath my thumb joint. I need to sort it out. And I get told I get it cut out if I want, or I don't have to get it cut out. Oh, well, clearly there's no urgency here, so I won't worry about it.
It's a good party trick, just be like, hey, look at my bump. Look, you're an amazing songwriter. You've got some pretty crazy songs out. What do you feel is your most powerful song that you've written that's kind of expressed everything you want to get across? Tough one.
Probably IOU at the moment.
Yep.
So you can get that. That's on iTunes and Spotify, and it's floating around Google Play. You can get it there too. But that's the kind of vibe that I was feeling at the time. It means a lot, you know. I've experienced that song.
So, look, you're back on the road with your Rebellion tour. Friday, June 3rd, you're at the Old Mill in Harndorf. Saturday, you're here in the Barossa Arts and Convention Centre. Sunday,
Yep.
June 5th, you're at the Gulf. Tell me a bit about the Rebellion tour.
Well, it's rebellious. It's very rebellious. We're going to do all sorts of crazy things. Like, actually, look, let's not get too excited. We're not going to smash anything. That's good. We're very similar in the head as artists, Carice and I. So piecing together songs to do together has not been a problem. It's just sort of flowed out, you know. And I'm super looking forward to it and how it rolls out. And I just envy anyone who goes to the show, because I wish I could sit in the audience and watch the gig, but I could only watch half of the gig. Because the other half, I got to do that.
Yeah, you could just get a Dean Ray impersonator to do it. Now look, apart from the fact I can imagine you're going to be in a bit of leather, maybe now some night suits. Why is it called Rebellion? Where did that come from?
Well, where we both got our start in the public eye is very processed and manufactured industry. They create people who sing in their bedrooms, they create them into artists, and then they spit them out. We both came from that and didn't allow that to happen. We rebelled against their rules, and we still exist.
Good job. You're still around. I reckon you're doing better than most of them anyway. Hey, it's very clear, like you said, you didn't just get changed and spat out with like those manufacturing people. How you're so true to yourself. How do you do that? Like in this, like, especially in the music industry where everyone's like, do this, do that, do that. How do you like find the strength to be like, no, I'm not going to do that?
You got to keep an element of ego. So I think ego is a very dangerous thing. I also think it's a very healthy thing. You've got to keep 10% of ego. And the ego, the only reason you should use ego is to go, no, this is who I am. That's it. This is it. Sorry. Oh, you don't like me? Oh, that's fine. I don't like you. You know, it's like, don't worry about it, man. If someone doesn't like... So I put on his hat the other night. I wanted to go out. A friend of mine was like, "Where are you going to wear that hat? You're really going to wear that hat?" And I was like, "Yeah, you got a problem with it?" They're like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, well, feel free to write it down on a piece of paper and throw it out, because I really don't care."
And I'm going to wear my hat.
I like this hat. I'll wear this hat. I don't like your jacket, but you don't hear me whinging about it.
Yeah, exactly. And hats are good thing. Hats are good. So look, you say you're just a guy with a guitar and a story to tell. What is the story you want to tell about Dean Ray? That was pretty deep.
Once upon a time, yeah, you hit me with like a really deep question this time of day. Usually this is the kind of question you ask me like 2 in the morning after a few drinks. Once upon a time, there was a guy called Dean, and he got picked on a lot in school, and he felt sorry for other people who were picked on a lot in school. And anyone that was doing it tough in life, he felt he wanted to give something back. Excuse me while I turn the page. And then, so he decided that he'd be a musician and everything, and then it's all happily ever after.
That was such a deep answer, such a deep question, Dean.
I had to give you something.
It was what was the title of the story?
Dean Ray.
Dean Ray, how original. Hey, look,
I know.
Thanks so much for chatting. Is there any last things you just want to cover?
No, not really.
Anything at all you want to say?
No, other than, are you going to any of the shows?
Oh, you might see me. You might see me. Yeah, of course I am, Dean. Of course I am. I'll be wearing my sparkly dress. You won't miss me.
Great.